Thanks for joining us for Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV. I'm Khari in Harlem. As the celebration of Black History Month begins, it is also the start of the 6th year of the Obama presidency. Is it time to ask the question no one wants to ask? Has the Obama presidency been good or bad for Black people in America and around the world? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Tyrone Thomas, Brother Tyrone Thomas. Brother Tyrone Thomas, Obama's been in office now this is his 6th year. We've got 5-year track record to look since 2008. Has Obama been good or bad for Black people?
Well, you said a 5-year track record. I'm still looking for what we're tracking because I haven't seen anything, and nobody else has. Obama promised change, and only change we've seen has been on the negative side. You look at the wages, how they've dropped in this country, how he's taken Clinton policies forward and lowered the wages of this country. You got the stock market running off the hook, but you got everybody else out here striving to survive. And they're looking to President Obama for change, and we've been looking for 6 years. So I don't see a track record.
Well, you mean, has he been good or bad for Black people? For Black people, in your opinion?
You know what, Khari, we just celebrated 50 years of nothing, and Obama put the point on it.
Oh, my God, Reverend Coates, that's a shame that he would feel that way. Don't you think Obama's been good for Black people?
I think that the Black community really needs to really show a greater appreciation to the Obama administration because of the equality that he has brought to the Black community in the area of telecommunications. Is that there are cell phones that have been distributed through the Black community that otherwise would not have been there through the Obama phone. So that is a significant contribution of his presidency, and you ought to be show more gratitude.
Well, listen, you have got to do something.
I got to do something.
Black women love President Obama. Why?
Yes, they do.
Is it justified?
No, Black women love symbols over substance. I'm sorry, but we do. They like his swag, if I may say so.
What does that word mean?
We'll break that down later off air. But, I don't think that seriously, he has addressed the needs of African Americans across the board.
Oh, yes, he has.
No, he hasn't. He went to Africa, he pushed homosexuality. How is that helping to uplift Black people across the world?
Wait a minute, he has, Tyrone, listen, he's done something about health care in this country. He's working on trying to uplift the wages for federal workers as well as other workers. And he's done some other things that are good.
Wait a minute.
He has a Black man that's head of Homeland Security, which is protecting us. I mean, good God Almighty, give the man some credit.
Yeah, they really are protecting us. You tried to use my phone the other night, and they were listening in, so.
Great protection.
But here's the part you missed. And you said something earlier that just really aggravates me.
Well, what's that? Get to the meat.
And you said he's given us some kind of health care program.
Yes, he has.
No, he has not. He's put more money into the insurance industry than he ever has. He came in protecting the banks, and he didn't protect Detroit. And now he's protecting insurance, and he's not protecting Black
What do you mean? What do you expect him to do, bail Detroit out?
Yes. How can I afford to pay insurance, Khari, and I'm only making $9 an hour? He should have, Detroit should have never went down the way it went down.
That wasn't Obama's fault?
Yes, it was.
It was not.
He's president of this country, the biggest industrial city in the nation, and he let it fall? What kind of message is he sending around the world? That because this city is predominantly Black, I can't pay it any attention?
John Coates, get in here. That's not true. The man bailed out Wall Street. He saved your bank account. No, Georgie Bush left this country in a mess.
Who?
When Georgie Bush, you know who I'm talking about. When Obama came in there, he saved the banks. He saved the pensions. My God, if it hadn't been for Obama, this country would have crashed. Are you nuts?
Well, first of all, one of the most important early moves that the president made was the very historic Bear Summit. And, he saved the relationship between a small-town police officer and a Ivy League college professor. That was a significant move that the president made.
So what's your point?
He sent the message.
Where's the hope? Where's the change?
My point is that what he has done has been very insignificant.
Let me tell you something.
And little.
You see, y'all missing the point. This nation would have been total economic chaos if it hadn't been for Obama. Obama saved America.
It's not in economic chaos right now.
No.
When you got such a high unemployment for African American men, when the wages have been lowered, when I'm struggling with $400-500 gas bills in the the middle of winter. Are you serious right now where my health insurance is now $200+
We're still in war in Afghanistan. We're on the brink of being in war with Iran. You know,
so you're saying Obama's been bad for black people, Reverend Coach?
Yeah, I believe so. And but he has ran a very strong NSA.
National Security Agency. Stay right there. Still going backwards after all these years? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. Social progress indicators such as unemployment rates, educational achievement, mass incarceration, and health data has not improved for African Americans. As a matter of fact, in many instances, the data is showing that we are going backwards under the first black president. Why? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and brother Tyrone Thomas. Brother, why are we going backwards under a black president?
Well,
and you know something, I see the same trend, I must admit something, but I do see that trend under black mayors also. Normally when you have a black mayor, the condition of black people does not improve. It improves for that talented 5 or 1% who get some contracts, and they get to be, like you said, symbols over substance. But the mass of people do not do better. Why is that, Tyrone?
Well, we go back to Clinton playing the saxophone, Bush eating the pretzels, and the president playing basketball. We haven't had a president give us any substance, and Obama's living up to it since the Reagan era. Reagan gave us trickle-down economics.
Why do black people go backwards under black leadership? Black political leadership in particular?
Well, it's very simple. The black community did not place any demands, no platform before president. They did not.
The black community Black Caucus did.
After he was elected, the Congressional Black Caucus couldn't make their mind up during the first presidential election if they were going to support Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. They had split loyalty there, where their loyalty really should have lied with the Clintons, but yet because of the color of the president's skin, that he was able to flip those superdelegates over into his support. So no, we have placed no demand on him.
So why do black people do worse under black elected officials, be they mayors, governors, or as you all are saying, president? Why?
I'm going to say what I always say, and that is, just because you have that seat, do you have real power to make a real change for your people? Okay, you're an elected official. Where have we seen any of our governors or mayors or anybody enact real power for real change?
There have been mayors that have made a difference. It used to be that if you would elect a black mayor of a major city, that black mayor made black millionaires.
Yeah,
that's not necessarily 30 years.
Thank you. He was talking about recently, right?
That's the time black men became Catholic.
All right.
So what you're telling me is that, then what's the benefit of having Obama? What's the benefit of having Cory Booker out of New Jersey? What's the benefit of having Michael Coleman in Columbus? What's the benefit to black people?
I'm going to say, for our children, being able to look at a president who looks like them gives them a little hope that in the future, they can obtain that as well.
That's another example of a symbol of a substance. Are they going to look at the same man that is entrusted to run the government, but instead of look at his policies that have not helped our people, to say, oh, well, he sings and he dances too?
No, what I'm saying is they have that to look at, and they have that model, and they have these policies that have been left by these former presidents.
Is that good?
But they have something to work off of.
Is that good?
Yes, because now they can see what wasn't done.
So Obama's been good for black people.
What I'm saying is that the children now see that, and they can take that and say, this is what wasn't done for us. Now I'm not afraid. I am going to do this, and this.
Tyrone, what did you expect Obama to do for black folk?
Well, I was hoping he would follow Jesse's and keep hope alive, but as you can see,
Jesse's
so disappointed in him, he wants to remove body parts.
Well, Jesse was never president.
Yeah, but Jesse had the platform, and Jesse feels like that
Jesse never had to govern.
Because the NSA gave us Obama, that he got removed. And so when we go back to the former Bushes and they created this man,
wait a minute, stop. Wait a minute,
hold on. The presidency.
Wait a minute, you said the NSA, the National Security Agency, gave us Obama.
Well, didn't he come in and say he couldn't do without his BlackBerry? He's the one that pushed this hidden agenda for for everybody to be on the internet.
You're saying he's a CIA, NSA creation? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
A Manchurian candidate?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought this was Free at Last and not the Jesse Ventura show.
It's a combination of
Wait, that don't even come on no more. I like that show, though.
He's pushing conspiracy theories. Come on, Reverend. Is there anything to that?
Well, we must begin to ask questions. What we do know is that he started off his administration with a national security team from the previous administration.
That's true.
From
Robert
the previous Republican neocon administration and did not change them.
But was that a deal? Was that a deal he had to cut in order to get to the presidency?
Whatever happened.
Wait a minute, I'm asking you a question. Was that a deal he had to cut in order to get to the presidency?
Well, you might find out. You might find out from him on his deathbed one day. But our eyebrows and all of our suspicions should have been heightened at that time alone. Why? Because a liberal Democratic president ends up with a national security team from a neocon Republican?
And meaning what?
All types of red flags should have gone up.
Why?
But we don't, because that's apples and oranges, man.
Look, they were at war. Why in the middle of war would you change?
It was a war that he had promised during the campaign that he was going to end.
But the war was still going on. Why in the middle of the stream change your defense secretary, change your intelligence people? That undermines the war effort, does it not, Tyrone?
War he's against.
No, and we've had that happen in previous administration where people came in and put in the right people. Okay, President Obama has reached up on the shelf, dusted off the books, handed it to America, said, you didn't want it before, but now that you got a black president, now that I got you, calm down and settle, and I'm the first, I'm going to bring all these things back that you didn't pass for those people that wasn't first.
If Obama is as y'all say he is, then why are black people still supporting him, loving him like they do?
Because he's the first black president, and the first. And I hate to keep using that because, again,
what's that got to do with whether or not you feed your babies or not?
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter to black people. It matters the fact, especially the older black people. Do you see how excited and just full of pride and hope and joy that the majority of the black older people were in when Obama was elected? Let me just say something to defend him too. Sorry, y'all. But you know, I have to wonder, is the man protecting his family? If he goes out on a limb and he does something radical to change and help us, are they going to kill his family? Are they going to assassinate him? I mean, who are
they?
No,
come on now.
Obama's the most he's the most well-protected man in the world.
Stop playing.
I don't think anything.
He's the most well-protected. Are you serious?
Every time Obama takes a stand, an incident happens with security.
Give me some evidence.
Like the people sneaking in the party and getting so close to him that they can touch him. Like Michelle Obama coming to Columbus, Ohio, and being taken down a back road that she couldn't be protected, and a motorcycle crew running into each other.
Come on now.
That message is being sent to him that even though you're the first black president, even though you promised change, if you make the wrong change, you're done for. And in this country, there's so much hatred right now that he, you know, if he doesn't do what they say, he could probably be taken out real easy.
So what's the benefit of him being there?
There's no benefit in having a black president. I'm sorry. He's the first.
Whoa.
He ran his four-year term, and we should have moved on.
Post-racial America? Up next, so Khari, free at last. Welcome back to Khari, free at last. White liberals have claimed since 2008 that we're living in a post-racial America. Oh, really? Has racism increased or decreased under the Obama presidency? And does the criticism of the president mean that the person is a racist or an Uncle Tom sellout Negro? Woo! Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, Reverend John Coates, and Tyrone Thomas. Anytime you criticize or you make an analysis of Obama that might not be favorable, you hear people on radio calling you an Uncle Tom Negro.
And that's unfair.
Or you're a sellout. Or if you're white, you're a racist.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're a racist or an Uncle Tom because you happen to be critical of the president, Reverend Coates?
Of course, absolutely, of course not. Look, They talked about George Bush. They called him dumb. They said that Ronald Reagan slept on the job. You know, they said that Bill Clinton couldn't keep his zipper zipped up. You know, everybody falls under criticism.
Well, he couldn't. Billy. Hey. Well, I don't need to say no more.
But you know, but he as a public figure, as an elected official, as the president of the United States, is open to criticism.
Absolutely.
And you know who should have been in front of the line, criticizing him and asking questions? The black community. But yet we refuse to do so. So therefore we get...
Wait a minute. The Tea Party comes up as a result of President Obama, and some of the people marching in the Tea Party had some racist signs all over those tags. Do you mean to tell me that then the Ku Klux Klan is a part, some people say, of the Tea Party? You mean to tell me, Earth Jallow, that this is not racism?
The poor Tea Party.
I have
you
never...
know it's true.
The poor Tea Party.
I've been around for a few years, and I have never seen as much racism and racial hate as I've seen since 2008, since Obama has taken the office.
What do you mean? Okay, document it. It ain't enough for you to say it. Document it.
Document it.
Yes.
I mean,
now
look at
freezing.
no.
She's
look at the police brutality of black people, unarmed black men. Okay, and look at George Zimmerman. Just check George
Zimmerman shot Trayvon Martin because of Obama.
Come on, seriously? He
come
asked
on.
a specific question. Has racial inequality or racial tension have become more? Yes. Look at this thing here. You have, I mean, I could name at least 10 young black men unarmed who've been gunned down by police
because of Obama?
Because of Obama?
Listen, yes. White folks are mad that we have a black man in president.
That's
it is
not
what
true.
it is.
White people elected him.
White people elected him.
I can go to all these social medias and show you all of this racial disparity. See, I'm telling y'all, it is real.
Without white people, Obama would not be president.
Listen, I'm saying.
Black people didn't know who Obama was.
They put him in there hoping that he would bring that Mandingo warrior spirit
they
to
put
the United States.
No.
Now that he hasn't brought it.
I don't believe you said that.
Tell us about the Mandingo.
No. Don't tell us about that.
They wanted a black warrior, and they got a swag warrior.
No, what happened was the powers that be put him in office so that they could get the things done that they wouldn't have been able to get done under a white president, because we would have towed some stuff up. You have military bases now in every country in Africa, every single one. You have things going on with black people in America that should be addressed. We have police brutality. We have racial injustice in the justice system. Where you think you're going to court to get a fair trial? Please.
The day Barack Obama lifted his black hand to take the oath of office, the modern-day civil rights movement was over.
But this is post-America. This is post-racial America.
Please.
That means that racism is officially non-existent.
You can't even get a job, and your resume could be looking brilliant. And as a black person, man or woman, you can't even walk into a place of employment and go against a white person to have a better resume, better college education, and that white person will get that job.
Racism, come on, Tyrone. People just making excuses. Racism doesn't exist, man.
Well, having a black president gave them an opportunity to really show how they felt.
How?
And you look at the number of incidents centered around racism around this president, it's off the hook.
So you're saying that every white person that criticizes Obama is a racist? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying
but you're leaning in that direction.
No, I'm not.
That's
I'm saying
not
a lot of white folks that thought he was going to bring a warrior spirit are disappointed in him, just as the black folks are disappointed in him, because we don't see any substance in his presidency towards us.
Are black people who criticize him, Reverend Coates, are they Uncle Toms? Are they sellouts? Because that's what we hear.
There'll be some that would want to paint that picture, but absolutely not. The black people
Stop being so eloquent.
Sorry, I just can't help it. Earth Jallow just rubs off on me every now and then. But you know, the voices that have opposed the president, i.e. Cornel West, i.e. Tavis Smiley, they have suffered as a result of their opposition to the president of the United States, unjustly has suffered.
What do you mean unjustly?
Well, Tavis Smiley lost his job in morning radio.
Tavis Smiley's still on National Public Radio.
That's what I'm saying. National Public. That's why it's on National Public Radio.
Well, that's a national outlet. How many other black men got that?
That's non-profit and not for-profit.
Yeah, but how many black men have that? Only one.
But he had for-profit.
Okay, but Tyrone, where do we? Okay, if that's the case. why aren't more black people, are black people afraid to speak up against Obama at this point?
I would say that they're not afraid to speak up, but the media is so in love with the image that he presents. When Earth mentions the swag
Tyrone,
of the president,
obviously they're afraid. Wait a minute, if you got the conditions under which you are claiming we're living under, I would sure, if this was George Bush, all those black so-called spokesmen will be raising you know what. Now, why aren't they speaking? Of course, they're scared.
You do have spokesmen speaking, but if you can't get a national platform, if you can't get a local platform, you're just speaking behind the curtain.
You hear him, John?
Obama has come in and shut this country down.
You know what? I think Obama turns him on too. They watch him and they say, you look at Obama and say, I would sure like to be that way. And then you see the president with his beautiful family and those two beautiful little girls, and he paints that image, and people sit sucked right up into it, including Tyrone Thomas. You probably sit down there and shed a tear every now and then.
Yeah, he does.
I don't shed a tear, but when I look,
he's a closet supporter. Hold on for a minute. Still waiting for the miracle. Up next on Khari, free at last. Welcome back to Khari, free at last. Why have black people received so little support and attention from this presidency? A presidency that they dreamed of, stood in long, cold lines waiting for. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and brother Tyrone Thomas. Look, we hardly ever get talked about in this administration. Black women begged the president to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. Instead, he did not hear their fervent cries. Yet black women still love this man. Yet their net value is $5. Are we mentally ill?
I think we are. I think we are really mentally ill. I think that we get caught up in this symbol thing, and I think that the first black, when we hear
Is it that powerful?
Yes, when we hear that, we embrace that. We try to surround ourselves around that first black who's doing whatever to show support and love and say that we're not supposed to put one another down, we're supposed to lift one another up. But again, symbols over substance.
But then again, every time the president goes to address something black, the media just kind of destroys him. They want to be all over him, so maybe he can't address black issues.
That's what I'm thinking.
He can do in front of that microphone and camera whatever he chooses to do. Now,
no, he cannot.
Oh, yes, he can.
No, he cannot.
Oh, yes, he can. But there may be a consequence to his action.
Absolutely.
But he can choose to do whatever. But the major part of it, and I've told the story before, when A. Philip Randolph went to Franklin Roosevelt and said, Mr. President, we need this, and that done. And the president said, that's all good. Now go out there and make me do it. And what the black community is not doing is we're not making him do anything.
But at the
all right, what is it that we want him to do? Tyrone, what should the president say or do in the future that would please you, that would say, okay, now he's addressing our needs? What is it?
Well, he can address the high unemployment in our community. And
Speak up.
That's a national issue, okay? We got unemployment that's off the hook. We got people that are qualified that can't get jobs. We got industry that's leaving this country, that's being tax supported by our dollars. He can address that issue. He can sit down and say, here's my plan, here's how I'm going to see it over the next 2 years to make this work. And I'm addressing this because it needs to be addressed, not because I'm a black president, because deep down in my heart, I haven't done anything for these people, and I need to do something for my people.
Earth, how can he help black women?
How can he help black women by addressing some of the needs of black women? Such as, especially the single mothers, and making that health care affordable to the single mother families. But my thing is, do we want to force the president into a situation where he is doing something for us and his life is placed in, in
the gay community has, the Hispanic community has. But let me tell you, because when I look back and I look at the Dr. Kings and I look at the Malcolm X's who were really moving in a way but they were not politicians.
But they were martyrs.
And they didn't control government.
And they died.
And they didn't control the resources.
And what I'm thinking is, if this man moves too far to the left or to the right, will something happen
Then,
to him?
if that's the case, he needs to step away from the office.
And that's fine.
Because if you're not going to do something for the people who elected you, why are you there?
I'll tell you what the president can do. He can respond to the plea of college presidents and to the United Negro College Fund and help straighten out the debacle that he helped create and return funds back to potential black colleges and to students.
And I can agree with that.
And so, as a result, what have we gotten out of this, John Coates?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, come on now.
Okay, we got image. We got an image of a black man with a beautiful family. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Tyrone?
And you know what? John just jumped all over it because Obama has sent to us a message that you can be a strong black family. So I'm going to give him his props in that area. But he has not shown as a strong black family man
your
values
Bishop Thomas
15 seconds.
Closing thoughts. I have to agree with this, that we have that perfect family image, but again, it's symbols over substance.
So there's nothing much that we can roll with, is what you're telling me.
Nope.
My God. Thanks to TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Tyrone Thomas. And thank you for watching Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV.